Yay! I think it works. I just need to see if our YouTube playing video here is updating. I guess it will in a couple of seconds. Maybe I should put OBS that direction. Just a second, guys. Because my daughter here also has YouTube on the screen, so that's enough. So I want to see if everything is going the way it's supposed to be. Welcome to another ByteDelight weekly show, and it's been a while. Just over a year. I could say it's only a couple of months, because the last time was March, a year ago. So don't worry, we're back, and I hope we can do this every week. I'm going for it. I hope you will like it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me open the chat here as well, otherwise I have to... Oh well, I can see it on the screen of my daughter, so okay. So, my co-host today is my daughter. She's called Sophie. Say something. She's 10 years old, and her English is not that perfect. Mine is perfect. Of course, no, I'm just joking. I'm still using Google Translate here to translate tough words or something, you know. I'm only Dutch, And as Dutch, we always have a dialect. If you hear someone speak, some politician or something, it's crazy. Right, who's here? Wow, man, how many people are here? 27. I've never had 27 people at the start of a stream. I think it's the first time. So, right, let's see if there are already some questions. Let me know, by the way, if the background music is okay. If it's too loud, I can put it a bit down. I hope it's all okay. I'm using my fake screen deck here again. It's just a smartphone with the awesome macro deck. It's a very cool utility which runs at my workstation and on Android, and I control all the OBS scenes from here. It's had quite a lot of updates, so it's a lot better than in the past, but I have to do some configuration changes to make it as efficient as possible. Yeah. 1.5 meter, yeah, it's family. No, there's no need for a 1.5 meter. I can hug her as much as I want to. She doesn't like those hugs. Ah, well, she likes hugs. She doesn't like kisses. Not for me, anyway. Maybe from her boyfriends. No, just joking. Right, maybe I should go a bit down because my daughter is not as tall as I am. Is this better? Yeah, I think it's better. But now she might look as she's 25 years old already because it's almost the same height. But anyway, all right. I think it's impossible to go through all the names, but I see some well-known names, of course, and a couple of new ones. So welcome, all of you. Let me see where we are at the script. So the preparation was almost half of the script, and now we're going to do the actual show, which is quite cool. So no one is complaining about the volume, so I think I will keep it that way. I shared all the links of the streams on Facebook and Twitter, so enough spam there again. Oh, I forgot to welcome our people from Germany. So guten Abend, hola. What am I forgetting? I don't know that many other languages, so bienvenue. Right, so let's kick off the show, and for that we're going to start, of course, with the one and only intro. So who's waiting for that? It's been a while. So do you want to press button 5 here, the ByteDelight weekly show intro? Press it. Yeah, it's working. Whew, and we can just continue talking. We can do that. Alright, this is going well. Perfect. I think it's working. Ja, zo. Heb je nog iets te klaar in het Nederlands? Een nieuwe kanaal nog? I'm not sure if you can hear me. We'll wait until the intro is done. Cool, I think the buttons are cool. Yeah, so the one and only intro. It's been over a year since I ran it last time. Of course, except for the couple of tests during last days. So, alright. What was I thinking of? Someone was asking, is she a Spectrum specialist too? So, well, she helps me out quite a lot. She helps with folding boxes. She helps with preparing lots of things like labeling small bags for the Harlequin kids. And lots of other stuff because she wants so many things. At this moment she wants all the packs for The Sims 4, and those are expensive. You can get a subscription to Origin All Access, and she has that subscription already, but that's not enough, of course, because the subscription only has the basic Sims 4 game. So she wants all the packs as well. But of course, as a good father, I'm not giving her my credit card. She wants to. She wants to. No, she has to do something for that. So that's why. That's one of the reasons. Because she loves me, of course. But that's one of the reasons she's here. She wants to have some more Sims 4 packs. So we agreed that if she do that, she might have another one. Anyway, my head hurts now. That's what my daughter says as well. She doesn't like the ZX Spectrum loading sounds, but if you don't like it, I guess you haven't heard the ZX Spectrum before. I hope you did, Anthony. Well, okay. What's that underneath here? That's nothing. That's odd. But what's that? Oh, this is your account. I thought who is that? But it says her account. Okay, just joking. You're right. Okay. So we run the intro and just have to add some minor thing in my script because there's also a sponsoring video which I will run in a couple of minutes, we'll see. Right, okay, don't want to forget to tell everyone that if you want to ask me anything then please do. I hope you can follow the chat, and also if you're watching this video later on, then please add a comment on the video and I will read them and I will use questions and all kinds of feedback in the next week's ByteDelight show. Yeah, perfect. Please subscribe if you haven't. It helps me out quite a lot because Google and YouTube are becoming not substantial, but it's part of my living, I can say. And I want to increase that because it's quite hard to do this for a living. I work 7 days a week at this moment to keep up with the backlog, and I had pizza already, Anthony. What's 3-4? 3-4, I don't know. A good question, Johan. We'll answer that in a second. Let's see. Let's get on tonight's program, and of course I still have the same categories as previous shows. So I will start with what has kept me busy apart from the work. So things that distracted me mainly. Then we'll get to the news bites, and then we get to some topics that I will dig some more into. So those 3 categories, and there's lots of things to talk about because I scrapped my Facebook timeline, and there were plenty of things that I could put in the news item list, so I had to be selective a bit. Let's see, Johan asked me, with many requests for ZX-Pound, for the ZX80 and ZX81, and only a few builds, could your SD card device for the ZX Spectrum be adapted for ZX81? Well, not really, because it really depends on a lot of software in the ROM of the FMC devices. But I already spoke with what was his name? Charlie Ingley, I think. I'm not sure, if I'm not mistaken. And I was almost taking over his production, but he got impatient and told me that he would continue himself because I didn't have the time back then. But maybe we can assist him with production of the ZX-Pound in the near future, because it's quite a cool device. Also has things like AY sound and some more. So I think that's something that should be continued. It's way more work developing a new device. Okay, let's see. Did I have problems with the FMC Pro Deluxe and Spectrum Plus 2? No, I didn't. But there isn't a Deluxe at the moment, so I'm not sure which version you are referring to. So we have the Pro Mini and the Pro Mini Lite and the Pro 1. And those all 3 work just fine with the Plus 2, except of course if your Plus 2 has a bad SATA CPU, which is quite a common problem. Oh yeah, he's counting. Mark is counting. Would you recommend replacing the power supply in my toast rack like I've done with my Commodore 64 in case it blows up? What do you mean with power supply? Do you mean external power brick or parts inside the computer? Because I think the power circuit in the tow truck, for example, is quite robust, but the original power supply need maintenance, need new capacitors and often diodes. So it's better to just buy a brand new switching power supply which doesn't heat up. But inside the ZX Spectrum you can do some improvements, and of course start with the capacitors and lots more. I hope I can add loads of topics to a wiki, either a new one that I will make or one that already exists. And I will describe all those topics in there, but it's mainly a matter of time, of course. Yeah, so the brick Zov tried a wave, so it's quite a good thing to replace the original power supply, because the big capacitor inside that is 35 years old and really needs to be replaced. And I've tried to refurbish a lot of power supplies, but they all make buzzing sounds nowadays, and I think it's just better to get a new one and save the old one for collection, of course. Don't throw it away, please. Would be a waste. Keep it. Let's just quickly get to our sponsor video, because I want to do a sponsor video every week. I will talk some more about sponsoring, but this week's sponsor is the ZX Spectrum.shop, so our own one and only web shop, ZX Spectrum.shop, and here's our video. Head over to ZX Spectrum.shop to buy brand new add-ons for your ZX Spectrum. Lots of different products are available, for example the ZX HD HDMI interface, or the DiffMC Enjoy Pro 1 SD card interface, and lots more. Set the currency preference to British pounds or euro and check out easily. Also found on our website are links to our Facebook page with weekly updates of all kinds of ongoing projects. And of course, do subscribe to our YouTube channel with lots of reviews and the ByteDelight weekly show episodes. Alright, sorry, I was a bit late. I was drinking some water. It's important, especially when you talk a lot. Right, so the first category for today is the off-topic things that kept me busy this week. So let's get to it. Just a small scene change video. Right, so the first thing you might think that I will talk about is, of course, the worldwide situation, but it's actually not. Because the last weekly show I did was over a year ago, and there wasn't any word about COVID back then. But the main reason was that since the beginning of last year, I really had to create more focus on the work, because I do this for a living, and I have quite a lot of expenses. So I wanted to get some more assurance that I got enough orders and that sort of thing. So that was one of the main reasons back then. But of course we have been struggling with the virus as well, in a couple of ways. One of the first was that in February, March we didn't get any order in, only a couple, and we need about 10 a day. But in those months I only got 1 or 2 a week or something like that. And that was a real stressful period, and no one knew exactly what was happening worldwide, of course. But fortunately, that was only for about a month, and I think because people had so much more time from February and March as well, like myself. I think people get into their attic or a barn or something, or maybe a shelter, I don't know, and they got back to their original hobbies from their youth, and many people started playing with their ZX Spectrums again. I really got loads of people ordering new membranes, new RAM chips to replace bad chips, and a new interface, of course. So the Pro 1 and the ZX HD were already selling quite well, but it increased quite a lot from March and April. So that's not an issue at this moment, sales. But other things like our kids were at home, of course, from February, I think, March, I think something like that. Maybe earlier, I'm not sure. It feels like a year. No, they have been at home for a couple of months, and she's getting back to school for about 2 weeks now. So So this is the second week you're going back to school? I think so. I think the second week. And my son also is getting back to school, but only for 6 hours a week. So he's following online school at home, and it has been quite hard because, of course, the schools have to change all their way of working, and they didn't. What are you doing? And there was a real lack of guidance from school. So as parents, we had to jump in, we had to take over teaching work quite a lot, because they still got practicing and schoolwork, but they didn't get the guidance in the lessons, you know. So that was quite a hard time. And of course, many of you also know that because you might have kids yourself. But of course, it's getting better now, and I think some things are turning out for the good, for the better, because loads of people have been working from home, and kids have been working from home, and schools and offices are thinking of doing that for at least part of the time, you know. So I think it's something that we've learned in a bad way, of course. Komt zo, question komt zo. That was Dutch, sorry. Anyway, I'm very happy that the kids are going back to school. They're happy as well, because I think there's been too much stress on our family as well. But of course, I can imagine that many people have been struggling with that. Parts didn't arrive for a couple of weeks, and fortunately in March, I can show you that here. In March, the parts were all arriving, all on transit again, because I was really stressed out, because I had to pull some products from the web shop, and so, you know, so that's a good thing. I'm very happy that it all came back as it was. Let's see. I still have a huge backlog. I'm working 7 days a week at the moment, and of course not the whole day, because our kids need attention as well. So I still want to go outside and go for some biking or something, or play a bit of soccer or something else that's important, and just spend some time with the kids playing Minecraft and so, you know. Okay, Mirko, may I ask if my order is compromised within the batch you're going to ship? Oh, comprised? Okay. I can't tell from here, Mirko, but I still, I think I have over 160 open orders, and I'm going to ship 40 or 50 tomorrow, so I hope it's in, and I'm still making a lot more. I think, you can just not see it, but there are loads of new interfaces and a test bench over on the desk, so I'm going to make more tomorrow, finish more tomorrow, and I have to really have to use the pick and place machine here to get new Pro 1s and new Spectronets done, which sell quite a lot. So I'm really just pushing forward, and I hope people can have enough patience, because oh man, I really hope I'm getting back to normal workloads again. Okay, she just counted. There are 45 there, 45 packages, but there will be more ready tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, other things that kept me busy. A real sad thing in February, I think. Our accountant, we got a card in that our accountant passed away. He was a friend of ours, so it was really. My wife was what do you call it? Really a bit of panicking, because she didn't expect it at all, and we spoke to him a couple of weeks before. Just a week, I think. Just a week before on the phone. So that was a real, how do you call it? Sad moment. And it also meant that we had to go start looking for another one and another accountant. And don't do that. Don't bump the table. There's nothing wrong with the table. And also, so we have a new account now, but I have to get into new software and all kinds of things, because he works quite differently from the other one. And she's bopping to the chip tune. No, she's not. She's bumping the table with the music. That's not English. Okay, copy paste if you want to.
Yeah,
She's trying to translate it. She's bopping to the chiptune. Wait, stop. I will help you. Just ask Renee or Mark if they can translate it for you. Okay? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Go back to the stream. Just ask them. They will translate it for you in Dutch, okay? She's bopping to the chiptune. I don't want to talk that much Dutch here. Stop, don't do that. If you want a real homemade pizza from me, Italian pizza, don't delay my shipping. Whoops. I like it pizza, but we just use the cheap Dutch frozen ones. But I like a good pizza as well, with cheese and oil and yeah, paste.
Yeah, I know.
Just use Control V. Use Control V. You don't have to Control V. Yay. Als je knalt gaat het chipje. Google Translate is really hard. Let's get back to the stream, please. Alright, I'm not forgetting anything here. Nope. So we have a new accountant, that's what I just talked about. Next thing. Alright. Oh yeah, this is cool. I think you guys are not expecting this. I just want to show you. This is cool. Yeah, okay. Let's switch to laptop screen. So we actually had one day of snow in Holland. And I remember people were quite jealous of that because there's much snow around here. I have a C5 in my collection, yes. Okay, let's continue. So another picture here. Oh man. So this is our street where we live, and this was in February. And the cool thing is that they announced a heat wave next week. So we're going to get 35 degrees Celsius here in a couple of days. It's really ridiculous. She's also already talking about swimming in the backyard. We have not a big pool, but big enough for her. Still big enough for her because she's still growing a lot. What are you doing? Right. You have a C5, Renee. Cool! Since when? Didn't know that. And does it run? Mine doesn't. I have to do lots of work on it. Cool. Alright. Oh, and the most important thing that kept me busy outside of the work, which is a real pity, it's the worst. What do you think? What can be the worst thing you can have when you're trying to work and you cannot do without? What could be the worst thing? Let's see if anyone can respond with the correct answer. What could be the worst thing that can happen when you're working and you can't do without? And there's a delay, I can see it. People are getting in the stream quite a lot later than we are talking. No replies yet? Well, okay. It's our coffee machine, it broke down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't do without coffee. And the bad thing is, of course, you can go to the Media Markt or something and just buy a new one. Or Bol or Amazon or something. You can just buy a new one. But we have a Siemens full automated coffee machine, and if you're getting used to that kind of coffee, then it's really hard to get back to some pre-grinded brewing stuff. But we're there at this moment because we don't have a choice. And I just ordered some parts to see if I can make it myself, repair it myself, because Siemens just wants to send someone over, and then they will decide what needs to be replaced. You know, yeah, you need coffee. No power. Ah, I got power.
No.
So, oh my, I need water. I need coffee. I only got water at this moment. And straw bubbles, of course. And coffee mugs. We have coffee mugs, but we'll get there in a moment. She wants a straw bubble. Does she deserve a stroopwafel? What do you think, guys? Think? If there are more yeses, then okay. If there are no's, then I won't. So we'll see at the chat in a moment. Alright, let's get to the news bites. It's time for the news, guys. Time for the news. Will you press button 8 for the news? Yeah. You pressed that button well. Very nice. News. You know you can make coffee just by boiling water and filtering a can. That sounds awful. I want a machine where I can press a button, Johan. No, I'm just very spoiled. Sorry. Hey, that button doesn't work. What the hell's going on? Uh-oh.
Yeah, yes!
Stop. The button doesn't work.
Yes!
Oh, alright. For some reason my button didn't work. Give her a waffle. Ha! It's Renee, of course. 2 times waffle. Oh my god. For some reason my deck doesn't work anymore. Maybe I should just buy a streaming deck, a real one. Straw was cheap and yes, eat one. I won't give her 5. She wants 5. She doesn't get 5. Right. Yes, straw bubbles are cheap. But I only get the real ones from Dalmans, you know, these ones in the tin can, and so those are a bit more expensive. Anyway, it's dark. What's dark? Yeah, it's dark. That's what I said. So for some reason my remote control didn't work. Don't eat above the laptop, please. No, I'm not cleaning your laptop. It's your problem. Oh, see, you see, it just stopped working. Okay, my macro deck doesn't work anymore. That's not good. That's not good. Anyway, I will use my mount for that.
Here.
The lights for it. No, no, it wasn't the light. You could hear me speaking, but it was only the scene in OBS. Why do you put it here? I have a trash can here. Oh, I'll put it on the ground. Anyway, I'm not standing up. Alright, so news. We're talking about news, not about straw bubbles. So the news, the major news, of course, we're back with the ByteDelight weekly show. Yes, this show, it's news, I think, and many people responded, so thank you for that. Next is I'm being sponsored by JLC PCB, as you may have heard in one of my videos from the last months. Those were not live, but so I made a sponsoring video for JLC PCB, and I still discuss with them if I will be kept sponsored. I'm not sure about that, but we'll discuss it with them. We didn't sign any contract, but just to. But they are sponsoring me, so I just need to discuss it with them again. Straw bubble game, sounds good. Right. Okay. Some other things, if you can call it news. We're still trying to improve our efficiency. And because the space is not that big, I now got some racks over there. So some cool black movable organizers from IKEA. They're cheap and they're really great for the straw bubble. They're really cool to have here. It helps me out a lot because it's really a pain if you have to keep moving stuff before you can continue with work, you know. So this helped me out quite well. Okay, what's new in the webshop? First, we've got many new straw bubbles during the last months. So we have the minis that we include with many products already. Then we have the Dalmans packs of 10.
It's mine.
These are these are a bit smaller than the usuals. These are the bigger ones, but here are the tin cans. Only have eight of them, but they're cool. I have Jumbo ones, by the way. I didn't pick them. And we now also have gluten-free straw bubbles, and unfortunately those are not from Dalmans. They come from Dalmans, but they're not made by themselves. And I don't know if straw bubbles gluten-free can be made with the same taste, but those doesn't taste the same. But if you do want to taste straw bubbles and you have a gluten allergy, then those can be the choice for you. Some other stuff that will be in the webshop very soon are the new mugs. So we have 2 versions here. No, just leave it. We have 2 versions, so the blue inside ones and the white inside ones. And we had a third one from Vistaprint, but that one, some people already told me that you shouldn't get those from Vistaprint, and indeed, for some reason, if I drink tea from the ones from Vistaprint or coffee, it has some taste, aftertaste. I'm not sure what it is. I won't be using that one anymore. It's in here somewhere. I think it's there. I'm not using that one anymore. But these are perfect. These look very cool. I think the color is great. So these will be on the web shop very soon if you like to order one with your ZX Spectrum add-ons, or if you want to buy some ZX Spectrum add-ons with your coffee mug, then of course that's also possible. What else do we have? Let me see. Oh, of course, there's some other stuff like the ZX Dia card, which was made available a couple of months ago already. Let me just change the screen here. Yeah, the king size is still on somewhere else here, not on the table. But it's this one. These are the big ones. These are the big ones. No, just leave it. So we have the ZX Dia card now. So this one here, this is the offer for the DIY kit for one, and we also have an assembled offer. So if you don't want to solder it yourself, it's a really useful device. Really important to have that for debugging repairs. Bodekoek or Bollesen to spill coffee on your keyboard.
Wat is bolus?
I never spilled coffee on my keyboard. I don't know. Bodekoek is also it's nice.
Lekker.
Yeah, you get more fat with that. I don't want that. I like it, but I shouldn't take it. Right. What else? Oh, of course, I posted last week that we still have. We also always had them, but many people didn't know. But we have. Let me change. Yeah, this one here. So we also always had these white cases for SpectraNet and for DiffMC and ZX HD, but many people don't know because I'm not offering them actively on the web shop. But we still have them, and of course there's the rainbow LED case underneath there. Why is my mouse not showing up? I don't know. So if you are interested in white cases, then we still have them. The only problem is that when the replica cases were made available, when they started, they were just off white, and now they are completely white. And I use spray paint that's still off white, so there's quite just a small difference between the white that I use on the cases and the white for the replica ZX Spectrum cases. But if you, yeah, I know, off white. Right. Okay. So enough about what's new in the web shop. But what else is new here? I have something on the desk here. Some of you already ordered one. Yeah, be careful with it. It's glass. So this is a glass ZX Spectrum. No, it's not a ZX Spectrum. It's only a photo of a ZX Spectrum. But it's quite cool, and it's sold as a chopping board for a kitchen. But we Spectrum enthusiasts agreed we are not using that for a chopping board. We only use it to drool on it, and you know, it's a drool board now. You know what drilling is? Okay, it's kwijlen. That feels nice. This is an ASMR video. Let it go. Alright. It's kind of. What are you doing? I was watching the stream. No, you're not going to play. Let it go. Don't do it. No, come on, don't do it. I'm going to throw it out here. Alright. The next thing I wanted to show you is this video someone made. Let me switch to quiet. Let me switch here. This video was made by Jeff. He made an awesome video. I'm not sure if he actually recorded it on the camcorder or something. I think he did, because it looks really old. It doesn't look like a filter. It doesn't look like a filter. Look at the text. I really like this video. It's really nostalgic, you know. I'm not hearing anything, by the way. Maybe that's better. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if there's lots of sound. So if you haven't seen this, please check out my timeline. This is from 31 May. It's cool, I think. Oh, wrong one. Alright. What else do I have in the news? of course, what I like a lot is that SpaceX launched the Crew Dragon capsule, and of course, it doesn't really belong. It doesn't really belong in the ZX Spectrum stuff here. But if you are a computer enthusiast and you grew up with ZX, just a second. If you grew up with ZX Spectrums and you're into computers from every age, then it's also cool what they did at SpaceX and NASA to finally lift off the Crew Dragon with the Bob and Doug, and with all the touchscreen stuff, you know, and it looked really modern, a lot different than we were used to. So that was really cool. I think I just wanted to say, put it in the news notes here. If you want to know more about what I'm doing here and what happens in the Spectrum scene, then of course you can check out the Facebook groups. You can also check out my Facebook timeline. I share loads of things from other groups and other people on my timeline, which is quite cool. What are you doing, man? Right, what questions were coming? Will your keyboard pass the coffee test, like your Spectrums passed the drug test? Oh, that's cool. It weren't by Spectrums. You were being held up, Johan. You had a backpack when we visited Cambridge a couple of years ago. He had a backpack with some Spectrums in, a couple of my Spectrums, and he was hauled at customs to check for drugs in his bag, and I could just walk through. Okay, sorry. I forgot to include note that I've been to Cambridge a couple of months ago again with Steven, my son. It was quite cool. We met with Miro, Werner, and some other people from Slovenia, I think, and Czech Republic. And it was quite cool. We had a great tour in the Sinclair building at the Willis Road and some other stuff. Unfortunately, my son wasn't feeling too well, so we quit the day quite early. But it was quite cool to be there again. Of course, we were at the center of computing history. Peter Smith dropped in as well. I think he saw my video and just drove to the museum with his wife. It was very cool to meet him there again. We are in good contact, by the way. I'm not sure, is Peter in the stream, by the way? Peter Smith? I'm not sure. Was that actually new? I think he will be. Anyway, I will watch it. And let me check. Yes, and I think one thing that's important to share, if you haven't seen it already, please.
How I go to England.
Yeah. Oh. It's okay. If we can still go into the UK, then.
I'm not
no
good
problem.
with English, okay?
Okay, no problem. Your English is great. Alright, so if you haven't seen this video from Rick, our great buddy who did all the great designs for Sinclair and for the ZX Spectrum Next as well, just wait. Just wait. If you haven't seen this video, it's a very cool video. They actually were able to get some of the footage with microphone. Let me check. But the only problem was after 15 minutes his microphone dropped out. But they now have a recording from someone in the public who sent it in, and you can still it's still audible. It's not the best, of course, but please watch this video because it's a great talk from Rick. It tells a lot about his work at the Sinclair and also his work on the ZX Spectrum Next. If you haven't seen it, it's really a must-watch. It's a very cool video. All right. What?
D and D.
Yeah. Okay. You're doing well, Sophie. Spectrum are now offered with extra Salafian drugs-free. Cool. You have so much orders. Are more and more people seeing the Spectrum as a good learning machine? I don't think that's it. I think that most of people that just want to get back to the things they had the best memories of in the time that they didn't have many responsibilities, you know. That's association with nostalgic stuff. But also I hear about many kids who are getting into retro computers because people, many people from 20-25 years and maybe even younger than that really want to know about the history of computers, and I think it's quite nice that they do. So there's quite a group of people that will keep the scene alive, you can call it that. It's great, yeah. Hey, Peter's there. That's Peter.
Wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, you can see it. It's just a short
Kan
name.
ik daar?
No, you can't.
Wacht.
What are you doing? I can't read my chat now. Let's get back to the news. Right, so that's all about news this week. Let's get to this week's topics, and I can use my stream deck, so I have to do it here. Where is it? Oh my god. I'm missing one scene here, guys.
Ik heb hem.
Yeah, I'm missing a scene. I think I forgot one scene. So no this week's topics. I'm not sure why I forgot that one. I thought I already made it. Anyway.
Video.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I want to talk about the things I discovered or rediscovered because the community is being involved quite a lot. It's about the ZX Spectrum Plus 2A and Plus 3 power supplies. So there's been quite a lot of discussion here about. Let me show you about problems with the power supplies. And just a second. And one of the issues was that what I thought was the main cause for problems, for defects.
That's not for
I thought the original power supplies from Amstrad, of course, not the Sinclair ones. Those are great. But the Amstrad ones were failing more and more and causing things like voltage spikes and whatnot, causing defects on add-ons and the machine itself. I got loads of people that were questioning that and were not sure if that was actually the cause. And now a couple of weeks, someone said that maybe the way you power off your ZX Spectrum has to do with it, because someone said you should not pull the DIN plug, the power plug, the 6-pin power plug from the Plus 2A or Plus 3. What am I hearing?
The background.
Let me take. No, I thought I heard someone talking.
The back.
I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get back.
The
So I thought. Started to look into it, and one thing that surprised me is that the ground pin or the shielding pin here in this connector. You can see my mouse. I'm not sure why not, but anyway, shielding pin on the left of the connector here is not connected to the. When you plug in the power, and you can imagine that it's unsure which pin is connected as first. These connectors are actually not meant for delivering power to the ZX Spectrum. So I want to do some more investigation. I want to know what happens, for example, if you actually do not connect ground at all. Will that cause damage on your ZX Spectrum? Or connect ground a couple of seconds later, for example. And if that would be the case, then maybe the way that people unplug their ZX Spectrum, unpower their ZX Spectrum, has to do with the defects that seem to occur more and more, but not that much. So this might be a cause. If so, I will include a leaflet with all products in the future. To warn people about how to properly unpower their Plus 2A or Plus 3. But I'm still looking into that, and I'm curious. So when I have more news about it, I will share that with the community, of course. And I'm still need to do some measurements and other stuff. All right. So far that's enough for the power supplies. Another topic is some discoveries about AY.
Maar nu staat het
Okay. AY what?
Oh nee.
What are you doing?
Oepsie.
No, it's there. That one.
Ja, oh.
Click on it.
I'm.
Just a second, guys.
Ja.
What?
Ja, minute.
Don't stop it. Let me check what they're doing. Right. Welcome to live chat.
Ja, dat.
Alright. Okay. So, AY chips. You would think that if you buy AY chips, new old stock or the Chinese shops always will tell you that the chips are new. Of course, many people know that they're not. Most of the time, chips like these are remarked and blacktop, as they call it. And blacktop means that they will sand off the top of the chip, put a new some new paint on it, black paint, and then put a silk screen on it. Great. Put a silk screen on it. What? Just let's leave it. Put a silk screen on it, and then the chip looks new from the top, but you can often see the bottom is old, and I don't know where the chips have been, of course. But most of the time, I think, let's say 9 out of 10 original A912 chips just work perfectly, and because they're quite expensive, like something like €7 each, £6.5. They must be working, and if they're not, then I will ask for some refund. I always do. But you can imagine, because we sell quite a lot of Harlequin kits and ZXAY boards, we need a lot of those chips, and they're getting quite hard to obtain. So I was looking for a replacement for that. So I've got some clones to test here. Need to do some more work on that later on. Clones.
Yeah.
Chip clones. No.
I see. Olaf.
No, that's not a clone. That's Olaf. Olaf's great.
Olaf is.
Where's Olaf? Not on the screen. Where's
Nee.
Olaf? No, there. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
That's Olaf.
Come.
No. Sit. Don't do that. Just wait. We're almost done. How long are we streaming, by the way?
Ik weet het boek.
Yeah, then left. You should move there. Okay, about an hour.
An hour?
Yeah, there. An hour. Don't talk that.
I don't know that.
Okay, you know it now.
Yeah.
Alright, so AY chips. Let me continue, please. So I bought some AY3 8913 chips, and none of them worked. I think I bought about 30 of those, and they all didn't work. It seems that quite a lot of them, or almost all of them, were made with a defective noise generator, so those just don't work. Only half of the 3 channels work, so it sounds awful. So I threw them away. You don't need them. But I wanted to see what else I could do. So, for example, use the 8910 chips, which are very cheap. They're only €1 instead of 7 compared to the 8912s. But the problem is, of course, they're bigger, and I needed to check if they're perfectly fine, because I had bad experiences with the 8913 chips. Don't do that. Don't do that. Click it away. Stop it. Will you do it with stroopwafel?
Yeah.
No, stop it. That works. Right, then you will get it in a minute. Okay, so I bought quite a lot of 8910 chips, but I already discovered some differences in the sound, sound qualities. They just sounded different. I made some videos about it. You can find them on my YouTube channel. And what we found out is that after someone told me that there was a testing tool to see if the chip was actually a 8910 chip, or might be a Yamaha YM2149 chip. It turned out that all of those chips were Yamaha chips, and most probably the chips were remarked as 8910 chips because the what are you doing?
I don't know.
Stop it. Because the 8910 chips are much more wanted, and people and the Chinese people decided to remark them that way because they are pin compatible. They work, but they just sound a bit different. Some people actually prefer the Yamaha chips instead of the 8910. Yeah, no, stop it. Come on. Instead of the 8910s, but I'm going to use those chips, but I will let the people know that these chips are not actual 8910 chips, but they are Yamaha YM2149 chips. And it's not the biggest deal, but I don't want to sell something that's something else, you know. Let me see if I can find some photos of them.
I want the stove off.
Oh, I made one video, by the way. What the cool video? Trying to see if I could find a YM logo underneath. Sorry, a AY logo underneath. Yeah, you're distracting me. Stop it, kids.
Hey.
Okay. Anyway. Stop it. Stop.
No.
You will get punished. No, just joking.
Oh.
I'm just joking. I will never do that. Alright. So, the research for the topic of the AY and YM chips has been done. I know now what chips they are. I know that Chinese people are not selling new chips, but chips that look new. But anyway, they still work just fine. It's not a problem. So I think they will work for many years. She's distracting. Okay, here, you have a cookie. And now be quiet. Be quiet now. Look, there are less people now because of your distraction.
No. No.
Alright, enough about it. Let's get to the last topic, which is all about your stuff, your ZX Spectrums. So I asked if you could send me photos of your ZX Spectrum setups, and I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. Sorry. Just want to share all this cool stuff with you. So let's start off with John's setup here, which is ZX Spectrum Next. It's a ZX Spectrum, so why not? He actually got a what is this? An Alphacom printer on it, and a cool Sony tape deck. Looks quite cool. Alright, anyway, I think it's a cool picture. Let me see if you can. Yeah, it looks quite nice on the stream. Alright, Fiona is awesome. Who is Fiona?
What?
Is this wife or someone I should know? I don't know. Let's get to the next one. Thomas, this is a Decatronix case, my ZX Spectrum issue 4B with interface 1 inside and he's waiting for a ZX HD and DiffMC to try it out. Cool. Just don't forget, if you want to use a DiffMC or only DiffMC, you have to, unfortunately, unplug the interface 1 or disable it in some way. Those two won't work together, unfortunately, so please know that. But you'll find out if you try. It's not the biggest deal. I think the ZX HD will work just fine, piggyback to the interface 1, so that shouldn't be a problem. Another picture here. Oh, John also has another picture. Oh, I just saw that. I've seen this. What's here? Let me check. So click to the next. Okay. Let's get to the next one here. I've got loads of links here, so we have to check a couple. Alright. What's this? Alright.
Oh,
here comes a couple from Ronnie. Oh, Mark, you forgot. I got some photos of machines here. Mark, your machine. Actually got your machines here. Still, they're in the rack there. But I have to work. I will continue on your machines very soon. Ronnie sends me his photos of his, I think, calibrating the colors of the issue 2 on a very expensive oscilloscope. I only have a recall. You have a Tektronix, of course. I don't have the money for that, you know. No, just joking. It's a very cool setup. Let's see what else. We got more photos here. Yeah, it's a Trojan Lightman tape. Cool. I don't think it will work on the LCD screen, so know that. Here's a thank you for someone else in the chat. Very cool to see his ZX printer working. I have to test somewhere. We'll talk about it in a minute. This is another printer with a revived ribbon. You can do that, it's not the biggest deal. Just have to find the correct ink for that. And a boxed ZX printer again. I think the same one as before. Cool. Cool. What do we have here? Oh, this is of course from, I think from Renee. Is this from you, Renee, or not? Or is it not from Renee? Because I see DiffMC and J Pro. What? This is cool. I've never seen this. What? Who is it from? Please tell me. Cool.
Hey, Mario.
Yeah, Mario. She thought Mario.
I love
We're
it.
talking about ZX Spectrums here, not
No,
Mario.
Mario.
Okay, and here's some other cool stuff. This is the detonator, I think. I'm not sure. And this is the ZX Joy, of course, an awesome device. I'm talking with Goran, who designed and developed this quite a lot for some new products. So we're working on those. If you're interested, I hope I'm not teasing you too much, guys. And of course, a Pro one here. Sold 800 of those already, and they're still going strong. Let's see, next photos. I want to see more photos. I like them. More photos. Not mine. Okay, cool. I've not it made. Okay, cool. Very cool. Wow, yeah. I want to know about the cover, Ronnie. Right. Oh, this is a cool photo. Look at this. So this is from Jim, who is in the chat as well, I think. I saw his name passing by. A lot of his channel, of course I have to shout it out. His channel, Happy Little Diodes. Please check it out. He's got some cool videos where many ZX Spectrums on his channel as well. So please check out his channel, Happy Little Diodes. It's here. Oh, you can see it here. Let me open his channel. Why not? Happy Little Diodes. Check out his channel. Look at all this cool stuff here. Oh, I really hope I have time to watch those videos as well. But not yet. She got too much sugar. Right. Next photo. Let me see. Were there more here? Not yet. But I got more. Yeah, there's more. Alright. Oh, look at this. Wayne. All the colors of the spectrum. And of course the toast rack. Everyone should have a toast rack. Everyone should have a toast rack. Have you seen my my funny picture of that? I will show you in a minute. Anyway, so toast rack, a different scene Nano, I think, from Shutter, and the cool different cases, replica cases. I guess Wayne did the right one here as an original, and a cool mug. Where did you get it? Yeah, I know that you said it. Use it again with the mug. Wayne looks like he needs it, don't you think, guys? I hope I'm not insulting you guys, man. Cool photos. Okay, next one. Let's see, what do we have here? No replies on this one here. It's a Dutch channel. Us Dutch people do not like to send in their photos.
I never
Just joking, guys.
Netherlands.
This is the Sinclair Society. It's quite a new Facebook group. I'm in way too many groups, guys. It's not my fault. People are just dragging me in there. Alright. Dennis. My toast rack eagerly waiting for the new keyboard membrane. Yes, it's coming. I think it's here. Packed already. It's the small envelope there. The hardboard envelope.
I don't.
Okay, and don't forget to replace the capacitors in time. It's maybe not be necessary at this moment, but it will be later on. Oh, look at this. This is picture to drool. Those are the 3 perfect machines ever made. So, a toast rack, a Sam Coupe, and a ZX Spectrum next. Isn't that cool? And I think there's an amplifier and a dual floppy drive. And a plus light, I think. Or maybe an original plus D, can't see, but I think I've seen joystick ports there. Cool, Dennis. Very cool. Very cool. I like it. Oh, it's a different C, by the way. And a Disciple. Wow. What a setup. Does it work together? So I see a Disciple disc interface underneath the toast rack, and on its back a Pro 1. And those will collide, but you can push the inhibit switch on the Disciple, and then I think the Pro 1 will work just fine. But I'm not completely sure. I'm not sure if the address space for them is compatible. And the next, of course, with the ZX Pro Pad for the next. Quite cool. And I think I'm seeing a Bluetooth receiver for a wireless joystick. I'm not sure. Okay, cool. No, I think I forgot 2 more here. First, this one here. Oh, yeah. Thomas sent me a just specky photo inside a smoke glass replica case. Just Specky is cool. It's a different machine interface, joy support, and other stuff. of course stereo sound and data spectrum 128K. So very cool board. I think I got a WhatsApp message from someone from Luxembourg who will come to ByteDelight very soon to work on this justification to improve it a bit. No, there was someone else. Some people, I don't get that many visitors, but sometimes I do to repair stuff and people want to visit ByteDelight. This is a Harlequin revision F, one of the early 48K versions. Earlier, I must say it's not the earliest, there have been many more. And I think there's still foil on this faceplate, so I think Thomas should pull that foil. I think he should. Because if you leave it on, it will be sticky later on. Please sit up straight, please. How angle throughput solid board, so I can revision F. Right. And Richard will still send me some pictures, I think. He hasn't done it yet. Okay, I've got some PMs from people with photos, so let's take those out too. I think I'm allowed. I'm sending you 2 photos of my ZX Spectrum case in case you want to feature them during the show, of course. Of course I will. Let me see what pictures we have here. Wow. So that's a +3 with a Pro 1 on a, I guess, Courier micro slot, but it can be a replica, of course, as well. Oh, it's sorry, it's a Kempson mouse interface, because I see a Genius mouse on the right, sorry. Very cool, and I really like the box of +3, it has a 3-inch disc here, a CF2 disc. Cool setup. Right, and some other angles here. Very cool. And this is an army joystick. It looks like that one. Very cool. Alright, and one more from the other side, of course. Match point. It's going to play soccer. Oh no, sorry, tennis. I'm mistaken, sorry. Alright, let's get back to the camera. Yeah, there we are again. Whew, it was a long time ago.
For free.
What do you want for free?
Ik heb het niet meer geweten.
What do you want for free? Let me see what he asks. I can't see. Not sure what he's talking about. Let me know, Anthony, what you want.
I don't know.
I give away free strobe apples. That's one thing.
I want that.
Yeah, you haven't enough. Let me just write down that I need to add a scene to OBS that I forgot for some reason. I thought I did everything well. OBS scene. She's playing Slipper.io. She's playing a game here. OBS scene. Which the one was this week topics. Alright.
I'm good in this game.
Okay. Just 10 more minutes, please. I'm better in this game. I can win. And your laptop is too slow.
Daar kan ik niks mee doen.
We have quite a lot of machines in house here. There, on the back there is the TNFS machine for Spectranet, the TNFS server. She has her own laptop. It's an old one, of course, but I'm not going to buy a brand new one for her. But it's fast enough for what she wants to do with, except for Roblox.
Yeah.
It's not fast enough for Roblox. Don't go doing my. I have to see the chat. Get back to the chat. Anthony, still going to describe. Okay, I will check the photos next week, Renee. Alright, alright, we're almost at the end. I can see I'm getting in lots of orders at the moment, so thank you for that. If you're ordering stuff at ZX Spectrum the shop because of the show, then I hope I'm doing it in a way that pleases you. Alright, so closing stuff. Oh, next week, of course. Next week. Wait. Next week. I have a teaser. I showed some stuff on. Could you please press the button on the back of the TV? It's a small button. Don't bump the desk, please. That on the get the remote from there. You have 36 seconds.
Okay.
Remote onder de luidspreker.
Ja, ik zie het zwaar liggen.
Ja, nee, de afzending. Ander. Yeah. Yep. You've got 25 seconds. Please give it to me.
awesome.
Hey!
Yay!
Oh, I hate it when TVs want to power up automatically. Why did they do it? Anyway, let's get back. Okay, I do not have any chat here at the moment. I can't see anything. Can you please get back to the chat?
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Yes. So, I'm working on a very cool project which will be just the ZX Spectrum Plus. It's able to run Jetpack and a lot more. And maybe I should keep it with that. But you will be able to play Jetpack on it. And it's still a ZX Spectrum Plus. I'm not joking. It is a ZX Spectrum Plus like this one here. It will. It's heavy. It's open. Be careful. It will be ZX Spectrum Plus like this one. This is just a case, by the way. It's all. No. It will be in the stack here. Okay. So it's very cool, and you will be surprised what's in here. What are you doing?
Okay.
No, I missed a couple of chats. Plus 3 discs cheap. Well, those are hard to obtain. I know some people who have a lot, and I only have a few. So no, I think you have to just keep on looking on eBay, for example. There are a couple of brands, Msoft and Maxell, I think. I might have to check. But keep an eye on them for on eBay and other sites to try to obtain those, but because they're getting harder to get. Okay. Yeah, there's a finance reply. Maybe we should ask Georgia to have them made, Peter. Alright. Okay, some other things I have to talk about next week is the story about Raspberry Pi Zero boards. I ran out of them completely, and they're quite hard to obtain because many shops like Pi-Hut and Pi Supply are sold out. Fortunately, one UK seller had some for me, so I bought 35, I think. But they are sold out in Holland as well, so I ordered I think 25 or 50 I think. The Raspberry Pi ordered itself, but if you order them in bulk, you have to pay more than what you pay for 1 or 2 at a time, because they're only sold cheaply for educational use. So if you want to use them for commercial use, you have to pay the premium for them. So which I did, by the way. I just pay a lot more, and then I'm able to get them. What is it? No, you cannot format a HD disk to DD. I've created a special web page about it, Ronnie. Don't do that, because the magnetic material on the HD floppy is less sensitive than the material on a double density disk. I hope next week the Max will be in the web shop. I also am working still on the floppy disks. You can see a couple here in the box here. Yeah, I'm working on floppy disks, I'm cleaning them, and I'm formatting new ones, so new old stock ones, to see if they're okay. And some of the batches I got are perfectly fine, and some have some problems. So I'm making sure that the ones that I will be offering are reliable. Some other news which I have to work on during the next weeks, I'm not promising I have that ready in a week or something, are the ZX printer belts. I have 2 different replica types that I need to investigate. And also I got on some microdrive roller replicas from Johan Engdahl, which I have to test. I'm not sure if those are completely reliable, but we'll have to see. I hope they will just work. And one other thing for the webshop is Opus Discovery maintenance kits, which will consist of big capacitors and the small capacitors and bridge rectifier modules and some more. And of course a manual how to install them and solder them in. But the problem is that there are a couple, 2 or 3 maybe, different revisions of Opus Discovery boards. So I have to really check to find out which ones I need to make, which kits I need to make, and how people can find out which version they actually have.
Je hebt 2 euro verdiend.
Cut off the 0.5 inch Ronnie. That could be an idea.
Je hebt 2 euro.
Thank you, Peter, for your Peter, sorry, for Kickster. Thank you, Mark, for your €2. And yes, it will be fixed. Renee, you haven't found the dollar button. Anyway, so the maintenance kits for Open Discovery will be available as well, but that will take some more time because of the research that needs to be done for that. And you know, I put quite a lot of effort in getting kits done. It's a lot of work. I don't think I make all the I compensate all the time that I put in that. But anyway, it's a you know that some of the work is done from the love of the machines, you know, and the people using them, of course. Alright, so that's what I wanted to talk about for this week for the new series of the ByteDelight Weekly Show. This was the 26th episode. Oh, I'm getting in messages here. Please, if you have any questions outside of the show, put them in the comments below the video. Please click the thumbs up. Thumbs.
And subscribe.
You have 2 thumbs. Where's your other thumb? Yeah. No. I hope to see you next week, guys. Maybe in the meantime I will make more videos, but you know, I'm very busy with a lot of work, so I have to be careful with that. I think I'm going to do a new outro scene here. I hope it will. Can you get to the chat, please, to see if there are any questions? $2, brother. Alright. 3D printer. It's I'm not sure which one it is. I bought it from my brother. I still have to start using it.
Je gaat daarmee een mini maken.
Yeah, Jiri, the TSR 12450 is a perfect replacement for the 785, and you can use it in the Spectrum 128K, but please know that Traco power type only goes to 1 ampere, and there are versions with 2 amperes. So if you want a perfect substitute, then it's better to get the more expensive versions for 1.5 or 2 ampere of maximum current. So please check it out. Yes, so I'm going to quit the stream for tonight, and then my daughter will jump on my back to get her Sims pack.
Yay! Dankjewel.
I didn't promise anything. Anyway, I will see you next week, guys. I will get a beer. So, see you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Can you see what's in the screen now?
Nou, get over to
Yeah, out loud. Get over to
Spectrum.shop.
Dat. Spectrum.shop.
Oké,
yeah.
dat shop.
Yeah. Ah.
Kijk,
Where is it loud?
dit is mijn banana.
Banana. Talking. Oh, what are you doing? I'm ready.
Ik heb zin.
Pick the chat. Yeah, you have to learn now. I have to end the stream. Sorry, guys. If you have said we're talking about something, I cannot read it at this moment. Sorry. See you later.
Ik ga er nu toch